moving on, we got some more news here. We got a fight announcement. We won't spend too much time on this, but Jacare Souza will be headlining against Jan Blachowicz at UFC Sao Paulo November 16th. And this was interesting for me. Jan Blachowicz, top 5 light heavyweight right now. There's been rumors of him fighting John Jones. Just came off a big knockout over Luke Rockhold. Jacare Souza is coming off a very hard loss to Jack Hermanson. And he's nearing 40, and now he's going to move up in weight to 205 to fight a top 5 contender. And, it's an interesting bout. I'm guessing that they needed a headliner for Sao Paulo down there in Brazil. So they looked for Jacare, didn't find anybody at middleweight, I guess, that would suit the bill. So they're doing this for Blachowicz. But when I look at this fight, Miguel, I'm kind of thinking that this is just kind of an opportunity for Blachowicz just to really kind of establish a name at this division, because light heavyweight has nobody. Chris Weidman's moving up here in a couple months to fight Dominic Reyes, who's a young star coming up. Johnny Walker's fighting in Madison Square Garden. But right now, there's nobody for John Jones to fight. John Jones really, unless they run it back with Anthony Smith or he moves up to heavyweight, he has nobody. Blachowicz was the only other guy that kind of makes sense right now that he hasn't fought. And now they're giving him a headlining bout against Souza, which is it's a solid name, and they're going to be going into his backyard. Do you have any thoughts on this, Miguel?
Yeah, Souza, I think at this point in his career presents an interesting case to the UFC. He's not a guy who's going to go back and start. I think he's a guy that you can't doubt he's paid his dues, right? So I don't think he's going to go back and work his way through. Let me get a light heavyweight and then hope, after a win, maybe a top 15 guy. No, he wants to break in. I think he will want to break in with a top 5 guy. If you look at the top 5 right now, Blachowicz might be, the most doable opponent for him. I tend to think Jacare, I've known him since he was, coming up in the Abu Dhabis and stuff like that. And it's hard for me to see him competing with, even at middleweight. He was outsized against like the Luke Rockholds and the, some of those guys. Now at light heavyweight, he's going to be a smaller guy here, although he's very fit and very very strong and stuff like that. And I don't have a doubt that he'll put the muscle on right and stuff. But still, I think, size-wise, height-wise, length-wise and stuff, this jump is going to be a little bit too much for him. And Blachowicz, now a top 5 guy, he might learn that right off the bat.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this is going to end up being a showcase for Blachowicz. I think that Blachowicz is a very solid and stout 205er right now. And I think that this is going to be a good name on his resume moving forward in his pool for a potential title fight, or at least a potential #1 contender fight from here.